Recently, Shannon Sharpe has been accused of SA by an ex-lover. This couple, they had a rough, intimate relationship. Okay.
Kinky.
Yeah, kinky. Like, just
choke me.
Yeah, everything. This is an Iwegbu production.
Period.
Recently, Shannon Sharpe has been accused of SA by an ex-lover. Many of you probably have seen these headlines. It's been everywhere. Even if you're not a football fan or anything, you're like, who's Shannon Sharpe? He is a ex-NFL player who's a Hall of Famer, meaning that he reached the pinnacle of that league. Like, he's the best of the best. Recently, an ex-lover of his sued him in civil court, meaning that he's not going to be tried to go to prison or anything like that. She like, I want the money. So she's suing him for $50 million.
You gotta be lying. 50 mil. Oh wait, SA.
Yeah, for SA. So some high points I want y'all to remember here. The alleged victim was 19 years old when she began having relations with Shannon Sharpe, who was 53 at the time. 53, 19. What's the difference in that, man? That's big.
That's
anyway,
20-something.
And based off of text messages that was shared from Uncle Shay's lawyer and I guess her lawyer as well, this couple, they had a rough, intimate relationship. Okay.
Kinky.
Yeah, kinky. Like, just
choke me.
Yeah, everything. Choking, smack, throw you. I don't know what they something crazy.
Okay.
They doing a bunch of stuff. What happened, I guess, from what she's saying, is that their last encounter, or one of their last encounters, would happen here in this past January. And she asked him not to do something that he went ahead and did repeatedly in their intimacy.
Okay, pause. They were being intimate.
Yes, they were being intimate. And
she was actively involved.
She was actively involved.
And he did what over and over again?
He did something to her.
Like
I think
what?
He put it in an area that she didn't want it, and he just went ahead and just went to work
and
on
just
it.
went. It's just like, why would you say went to work on it? Like, that is crazy.
No, I'm not trying to be insensitive to anybody that has been in that type of situation.
Not at all.
Or whatever.
Not
she
at
was
all.
She texted him like, why did you do this? I said, no means no. And I guess he was going into a show and he said, I'll talk to you later. He didn't say, what are you talking about or anything like that. So that was like a red flag. But again, from the nature of their relationship, it doesn't seem like, I could see where the lines may be blurred here. I don't know what exactly happened, but this is just so unfortunate because Shannon Sharpe, if you didn't know, he was in the headlines like right before this happened for getting $100 million podcast deal, babe. And now since those allegations, if you look at Uncle Ocho in a lot of his shows now, the sponsors that were behind him have all vanished. So he's losing on all of that stuff. Yeah, so this is a sad situation, especially because if you watch this show, there's been a viral clip going around of Monique where Monique was talking to him during her interview. It was like, what you want with a 20-something-year-old? He said, you need to get you an old woman who's gonna rub your feet and drink some of your liquor at the end of the night and make you feel good.
Yeah.
He was warned. He even joked on Donnell Rollins, who's a comedian who is about in his 50s as well. And he has a child with a like 22 or 23-year-old.
Okay.
And so he was messing with him about it. So everybody's been on Shay's head. But all of this just goes to show that your flesh is just a bad master. You can lose so much over temporary pleasure. And it turned me to the scriptures here. If you go to Galatians 6:8, it says, whoever sows to please their flesh from the flesh will reap destruction. Whoever sows to please the spirit from the spirit will reap eternal life.
Yeah.
So sowing to the flesh, this equals indulging in sinful behaviors or selfish desires, which includes, but is not limited to, intimate sins. Sowing to the spirit, this is living in alignment with God's spirit and character. It's like, don't go the way of your flesh. It's just warning you not to do it. And I see this time and time again. I tell people all the time, and I tell you this, babe, I'm like, I don't envy any NBA star.
Yeah.
I don't envy any R&B singer, especially when they've been hot since they was young, because they got so much of the fame, the money, everything before their mind could fully even develop. Everybody was telling them yes to this, yes to that. You don't even have to, half of them didn't barely go to classes.
Right.
and still made it through.
That's true.
Yes, for everything. And so now you get in this area and you don't even know how to just settle down. You just want to have at it with any woman, anytime, no matter the age, which is just wow. And they just don't ever get to get those root ground traits of a lot of times the spirituality and all those things there. So I don't envy them because I think about my own mishap. I think about what if I had cameras on me when I was young, when I was out here, and if you don't know my story, I had 2 kids with 2 different women. There was just a lot of toxic stuff back in those times, cheating, all these different things. It's like, man, the reason why I got so much grace is because it could have been me. If you think about it, it's so many things that we aspire to have all day if we was in those same shoes. Because so many people are throwing stones at him and saying whatever. Now, I don't know. Here's one part I cannot relate with. Well, I'll be 53 and I want a 19-year-old. Some of the other things, I don't know. It's just, I can see where you can indulge just a little bit too far when you've never been told no. And you had so many women in so many different ways. It's like you're trying to create something new.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, my advice to all is to find one and sit your butt down. That's for all my players out there who still in the club, especially OGs. Like, be an unk, man. Sit down somewhere. Get you a wife, man. That's what I think. They should just settle down. And I love one of my favorite scriptures here because I'm glad and I'm happily married. And I wish everyone could enjoy marriage the way that I do. And that is Proverbs 5:18-19. May your fountain be blessed, and may you rejoice in the wife of your youth, a loving doe, a graceful deer. May her breast.
Now be saying these scriptures in every coaching class. I'm like, that don't even got nothing to do with what we're talking about.
This is the Bible.
That is your favorite verse.
It's probably one of my favorite. May her breast satisfy you always. May you ever be intoxicated with her love. The scripture affirms this, and that's why I'm just like I like to indulge with one woman. 2 of the best decisions that I've ever made: choosing Christ, choosing my wife.
Amen.
I hope that from this, Uncle Shay learns and he does what Monique told him to do and sit his butt down and be the uncle that we really need him to be. Yeah. And not sitting over here bragging on his thing every Uncle Ocho session like he does all the time.
What do we brag on?
He always bragging on him and
his penis?
Him and Ocho. Yeah. It's crazy. But yeah, need to be the mature uncle. What you think about this, baby?
So first and foremost, was she high? Because I'm confused as to
they had a relationship. This was for
I'm
years.
saying, was she high? Because I'm confused on, and I'm not, y'all walk with me through this because I don't know anything, y'all, at all about this story. But I'm thinking about, okay, so you're being intimate with someone you've been intimate with for a very long time, and he sticks it in the wrong place, and he going in the wrong place over and over and over and over. You kiss him, have a good night, babe, whatever, clean up, go home, and then say, why did you stick it in there?
She said she was telling him to stop, or allegedly.
Okay.
But he wouldn't.
Yeah, we just would never.
But he still just did it.
Yeah, I mean, no, if she was saying, no, that hurts, don't do that, then that's definitely assault.
But here's the thing, they've been having this.
But have they
like
been,
the way that
are we not able to say
they released?
Is it anal? Are we not able to say that?
I don't know if we can. Yeah, that's why I just.
Is that what we're talking? That's what we're talking about, right?
Right. Yes.
Okay. So we don't know if that's. I mean, of course we don't know this because I don't know. I guess I'm a little confused, a little foggy because I'm just like, if the essence of their intimate relationship was kinky and all these things, is it something that how can I word this in a Christian way?
Real.
You know how like some men can be turned on by the no, and what I mean by that, because I gotta figure out how to express that. Like if you're doing something, if you're doing the intimate act, I'm just trying to figure out the essence of it, because if they were extremely, because I would have to go like really graphic. I'm trying to figure out the essence. If it was extremely kinky, and now I forgot the detail that she was saying no as they were being intimate, then that is assault. If I'm telling you, don't put it in there, ouch, that hurts. No, and you on some, you gonna take this. Yeah. The only way I can think of it not being assault is like, we've been doing this. What are you talking about? And if I feel like you told me some of the details was like I cannot think of this word of this segment of intimacy, but it's like high-key abusive.
Yeah, they were on there. Like one of the recordings that they released.
Yeah,
was basically he was like,
help me out in the chat. chat, by the way, y'all. If y'all
when I see you, I'm gonna choke it out of you. She was like, why would you? She was like almost in this like,
don't hurt me.
Like, why would you do that or something? He's like, you don't have a choice in the
Okay. What is that called? Oh my gosh. If you watch this live, there is a word for this. It's a power dynamic. It's a thing. I just cannot think of it.
BDS?
That's a part of it, but it's like dominant something. So it's like,
let's look, go to the chat. Role play?
No, not role play.
Foreplay, when they said.
Oh, see, y'all saved. No, think darker. Think darker. It's definitely, but I'm saying that's a segment of like intimacy. So I'm like, if that's something that they
submissive.
Yeah, submissive. That's what it is. Somebody said that?
Yeah, Quene.
There we go. Yes. That thing is like, okay, I was about to make that's not good. You know, ouch, that hurts. Like that's a thing that they get off on. So if that is something that was, you know, in the relationship, that's the only way I can see this not being assault, where he like, girl, we've been getting choked, hurting each other, all the things like that's been a thing. Talk crazy to each other. That's what we do. So that's the only way. That part. Second part, if that man was just going into town and she was saying, oh yeah, all his money need to be thrown to her for sure. Like that, we don't play any of those games. First of all, let's just put this out here.
Oh, just so you know, he did try to settle it before it got to the public for $10 million.
Okay,
but they declined that and they want $50 million.
So I don't have nothing else to say about that. I'm about to go into lust, because that's all this is. That's the consequence of lust. And I feel like I don't really care how sometimes I'd be like, dang, I used to be like, dang, we're being repetitive. We're always telling people not to sleep, not to da, 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 da. It's like, yeah, because do you see how the wages of sin is death?
Yes.
Death to your reputation, death to your legacy, death to your lineage, death to your bloodline, death to your family. And people oftentimes limit it to, and you know what's so sick and what's so sad about this world is that like we'll say stuff and sometimes I'll be like, it's a solution to almost everything except for uncurable diseases. But it's like, okay, you can get pregnant, but nowadays people don't even give a darn about actually taking the child out. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, you can get pregnant by this dude that you don't know. They just like, we're gonna be at the clinic. There's no shame in that. And it's like, well, I sometimes wish that women would come back around and be like, oh yeah, I did decide to end and terminate my pregnancy, and let me share with you the residue from that.
The residue, that's the part.
And this is something that's why y'all, and I'm gonna just lean into old TK real quick. Somebody type in the chat, safe place.
Safe place. This is a safe place. Put it in the chat right now, please. All right. Here we go.
No, when I listen to influencers, leaders in any sort, somebody that got a mic, someone that is speaking, and they're sharing their life. Let's say that you decide to be what we are, marriage coaches, and all we hear about is the bliss and the good. All we hear about is the good parts of it, right? All we hear about is how you did everything perfectly on the way up to the wedding. Now, if that's true, then praise God, I'm talking to the people that be lying. When you exclude consequences of sleeping with your spouse before y'all got married, this is why you have people that don't feel as bad for doing what they do, because they don't understand consequences, because y'all not telling them.
Yeah.
You're not being real about the fact all these athletes and superstars, y'all not being real about the fact that y'all probably got diseases every other month.
Man.
Y'all not being real about the fact how you dropping cash apps left and right, terminating pregnancies. You're not sharing the fact that you have broken homes and you can get on camera and act like it's all cool, but you don't know your son. You are not sharing how when you lay down in bed, you literally don't know who you are, because you're in Europe, you're in Mexico, you're in California, you're in Texas, you're in Atlanta, you're everywhere, all over the place. We glamorize the activity and withhold the consequences. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. See, this is my thing. This is when I know y'all don't believe what y'all be saying. Because this is the thing. Let's say you are cool with sleeping around with a bunch of people. When you are standing in your truth, you own the whole truth, right? The whole. So we believe in marriage. There's no aspect of marriage that we disagree with. Our belief as believers, we stand on that. But when influencers and content creators and people that y'all listen to get on platforms and go, I don't think there's nothing wrong with sleeping around. So also add that you don't think nothing is wrong with taking the chance of getting diseases. Yeah. Make sure you add that nothing is wrong with terminating pregnancies. Make sure there is nothing wrong with broken homes and fatherless children, because you can't be everywhere. Make sure when you stand in sin, stand in the consequences of it as well.
Yeah.
That's it.
Toes.
That's my only problem that I have when people like this, because they all talk about sleeping around, and I don't know when I'm gonna get married, and I'm just out here, I got money and I can be a player, you can be, and you're getting sued.
For sure. And that sucks. At the height of your career.
The Bible talks about counting the cost.
Yeah.
There's a book that I love called The Best Yes. Follow your yes. When I choose to continue to sleep around with this person that I know for sure is not my husband, I know for sure is not my wife, let me follow this yes. Let me follow this action. What are the possibilities connected? We can go down all the physical possibilities. I just did. Now let's also go down the emotional. Let's go down let's say you don't terminate a pregnancy and you have a child. You're not marrying this person. You really don't know this person. See, this is why we get on here and we talk about baby mamas, and we talk about kids in different homes, and we talk about the war that we've been through. We talk about how you can be sleeping with someone and that person turn into a witch, and that person turn into a completely different human being. And now your child is divided. Now your child is lost. You don't think that's going to impact you? If you even are a little bit of a human being, that's going to affect you.
For sure.
If you watch your children become the person that you slept with, you don't know who they are, but they're becoming like them, and it's the worst version of themselves. You watch that?
Yeah.
So just make sure, that's my thing, babe.
Yeah.
I just want to hear more people talk about the connected consequences. Don't lie about it. Don't glamorize the consequences. Stand it. Oh, listen now. I'd rather hear I pop a pill, I do my thing. Listen, I already know I'm out here risking my life. I already know I'm out here possibly destroying the next generation.
Yeah.
Stand in that. Stand in all of that.
Yeah.
Because if you can't, I just want to gently come back, pull back. I just want to gently encourage you. If you don't stand, if you follow your sin, if you follow it and there's a part of that road and that route that you disagree with or you don't like, I'm just challenging your perspective. Maybe, just maybe marriage is the way.
Yeah.
Just maybe one woman is the way. Just maybe settling down is the way. Just maybe actually facing why you are sleeping around. See, this is my last thing, babe. People love to point out how women sleeping around reveals a deficit of daddy issues or a deficit of mother wounds. But we don't talk about why a lot of men sleep around, number one, but sleep around with the most random and far and wide type of woman because they hate their mama. We don't highlight the reason why you're doing what you're doing because you don't know love. We don't highlight men are doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And this narrative that, I don't know the difference between blue pill and red pill, but this narrative that one of them sides is putting out, sleep around, have multiple women, all the different type of things. I hardly ever hear a man say that and love his mama. I don't know. I don't know a man that's like, no, my mama's solid, because your mom leads and teaches and exposes to you a godly woman, a woman that you honor and respect. So if you didn't have respect for your mama in the home because she was cussing you out, because she was, what you think you about to go out and treat women like? So that's it. That's all. I'm sad for the people that follow these type of people and agree with their ideology, but just follow those decisions. And listen, we don't know nothing. I don't know. He could be absolutely innocent, but that baby girl was barely legal.
Yeah, I mean, they had 3, so she ended up being 22 when they ended, but yeah, it still was just
baby, she was 19.
Yeah, she was 19.
Okay, so she was barely legal. She just got out of high school and you were a grandpa.
Oh, and you can have, thing is, all the money, all that, you could have anyone. He met her at the
when
gym.
You scratch that itch, it feels good.
He been doing
But when you scratch that itch, you got to move to the next part of your body and scratch that. Yeah. And then you got to move to the next part and scratch that. And then you got to move to the next part. So what does that look like? That looks like 19, 17.
Try some different stuff.
Threesomes.
That's all types of mess.
A room, let's all do it.
Yeah.
All at the same time. Orgies. Like it just keeps going. That's the flesh. Yeah. That's my take.
Yeah, man. It's a sad situation. I hope did not do this. And he comes out. It's more things that's starting to come out as well. We won't even get into that on this episode, man. But I want to know, what do y'all think about this situation? I would love to know some of y'all insight. Please let us know down in the chat below. This is an Iwegbu production.
Period.